Dexter versus the Gemini Killer, the final hunt, Dexter, resurrection, the end of one monster, and the birth of another. Blood, it always finds a way back. No matter how deep you bury it, how far you run, it stains the soul forever. For years, Dexter Morgan thought he'd escaped, a ghost drifting through a quiet life, his darkness sleeping beneath a new name. But darkness, it never dies. And now, a new monster has risen, one who kills with the same precision, the same ritual, the same code. They call him the Gemini Killer. And suddenly Dexter knows the hunt has begun again, a quiet town in the middle of nowhere. Snow falls softly outside a small cabin. Inside, a man sits alone, sharpening a knife, not for killing but for chopping vegetables. His face calm, his eyes distant. This man is Dexter Morgan, or at least that's who he used to be. Now he goes by another name, lives another life. But even after all these years, the silence feels wrong. His voice drifts like a whisper through the darkness. Peace is a strange thing. Everyone wants it, until they get it. Dexter works at a small bait shop now, blending in, pretending to be normal. He's learned to smile, to nod, to play the part of an ordinary man. But at night, when the world sleeps, the old instincts stir. The rhythm of blood, the balance of life and death, it calls to him like an old friend whispering through the cracks in his mind. One night, he sits in front of the TV. The flicker of a local news broadcast fills the room. The anchor's tone is cold, detached. Another murder. Another body found, clean cuts, no evidence. The screen shows a red-tinted crime scene photo, and Dexter freezes. The pattern. The precision. The blood spatter tells a story he knows too well. Double quotes, no, it can't be. The next morning, Dexter drives to work, his thoughts restless. The world around him moves slowly, but his mind is racing. Every kill leaves a fingerprint, not on the victim, but on the killer. And what he saw last night wasn't random. It was art, his art, or something frighteningly close to it. That night, he dreams of Miami, the heat, the ocean, the blood slides. Deborah's voice echoes in his head, calling his name. He wakes up sweating. For the first time in years, he feels alive. He looks into the mirror, the man staring back at him, not the same one who came here to hide. His reflection smiles faintly, not out of joy, but hunger. The kind he thought he'd buried long ago. Maybe I didn't come back to life, he says quietly. Maybe I was never dead. The darkness has returned, and this time it has a twin, the city doesn't sleep anymore. Every few nights another body turns up, staged, symmetrical, perfect. Two of everything, two cuts, two eyes removed, two lines of blood like mirrored rivers on white walls. The press calls him the Gemini Killer. But Dexter, he sees more. He sees the pattern beneath the pattern. The message hidden in every drop of blood. Each crime scene feels familiar, almost nostalgic. The work of someone who understands the code. The cuts are surgical, the cleanup meticulous. Whoever this killer is, he isn't sloppy. He's deliberate, calculated. Just like Dexter, Dexter finds himself wandering near the newest scene one night, blending with the crowd behind the police tape. The flashing red and blue lights paint his face in pulses of guilt and curiosity. He hears the officers talking, same MO, same signature, no leads. Their words barely reach him. He's studying the shadows, the angles, the rhythm of death. The Gemini Killer isn't just killing. He's communicating. Later, Dexter sits in his dimly lit cabin, photos spread across the table. He's drawn to the smallest details, the placement of the wounds, the direction of each blood spatter. Every scene forms a mirror image, as if two hands performed one act in perfect sync. It's artistry, but it's also mockery. He's copying me, Dexter mutters. Then pauses. No, not copying. Competing. Days pass, and the murders continue. The public panics, detectives fumble, and Dexter watches it unfold like a conductor waiting for his cue. The Gemini Killer leaves messages now, carved into walls, written in blood. Words only Dexter would understand. You started this. At night, Dexter's voiceover returns, quiet but sharper than before. He knows the code. My code, my precision. Every slice, every ritual, he's not learning from me. He's taunting me. He feels the old hunger returning, not for blood, but for balance. The Gemini Killer isn't just another monster. He's a reflection, a darker version of Dexter himself. Stripped of purpose and control. As Dexter stares at the photos again, one image stops him cold, the victim's eyes open, staring upward, and in each pupil, reflected by the camera's flash, a faint silhouette. A figure holding a knife. Dexter leans closer. The figure isn't Gemini. It's him. For the first time in years, Dexter feels something he thought he'd forgotten: fear, and beneath it, excitement. The night feels alive again. The air thick with rain, the streets glistening like veins pulsing under the city's skin. Dexter walks among them, calm, patient, calculating. But inside, his thoughts are a storm. Every new clue left by the Gemini Killer feels personal, like an invitation. This isn't random murder. It's a message written in blood. Dexter begins to hunt the way he used to, quietly, invisibly. He studies the Gemini's victims, all seemingly innocent, but connected by threads only a predator would see. Each had a hidden sin. Each one had secrets. It's almost poetic. The Gemini Killer doesn't just mimic Dexter's method, he mimics his judgment. In his voiceover, Dexter muses, "He's not just copying my work. He's finishing it, completing what I left undone." He starts leaving his own signs, subtle trails, coded details only another killer would notice. The dance begins. Gemini responds in kind. A red thread on a door handle. A symbol carved into a park bench. A body left exactly 1 mile from Dexter's home. It's not just a duel anymore. It's dialogue. Dexter starts to unravel, losing the thin mask of normalcy he's held for so long. His eyes no longer hide behind kindness. He's sharper, colder, alive. He finds himself talking to the air, to the ghost of his father, to Deborah's voice in his mind. "You can't stop," she says. "He's like you. You created him." The line between right and wrong, hunter and hunted, blurs until it's gone. One night, Dexter finds a package on his doorstep. No address, no name. Inside, a small glass slide with a drop of blood, his blood. His pulse slows. Someone had been close enough to take it. That's when he realizes Gemini isn't running. He's waiting. Dexter studies the slide under dim light, the red shimmer glowing against his fingertips. The monster inside him, the dark passenger, whispers with something close to joy. This isn't fear anymore. It's recognition. The next night, Dexter drives through the rain, tracing the path of Gemini's last kill. His voice is calm, deliberate. He thinks he knows me. But he doesn't understand the code. He doesn't understand control. That's what separates us. In the distance, lightning flashes, and in the brief light, Dexter sees him. A figure standing still in the downpour, watching. No words, just silence. 2 hunters. 1 storm. 1 inevitable ending. The final hunt has begun. Asterisk rain falls like shattered glass. The city holds its breath. In an abandoned warehouse by the docks, 2 shadows move in silence, mirrors of each other. Dexter's steps are measured, calm, but his pulse beats heavy. Every instinct screams this is where it ends. Not with justice, not with peace, but with truth. The Gemini Killer waits inside, standing between 2 hanging lights that flicker like dying stars. His face hidden, his voice smooth, disturbingly calm. "You taught me everything," he says. "The world needed balance, and you showed me how to make it." Dexter studies him, every movement, every breath. He realizes Gemini isn't just a killer. He's a reflection of everything Dexter once was, without the mask, without the code. A creature born from imitation but driven by chaos. "You misunderstood," Dexter replies softly. "There's no balance in murder. Only silence." Gemini laughs, the sound echoing off the concrete walls. "Then why are you here, Dexter?" "Because you missed it. The hunt, the blood, the truth of who you are." The 2 men circle each other, predators in the same cage, each waiting for the other to move first. The tension snaps. Gemini lunges with a blade and Dexter blocks, the struggle sharp and fast, their movements brutal and precise. Every strike feels personal, not a fight for survival, but for identity. The storm outside roars as if the world itself is watching. Dexter pins Gemini to the ground, his knife pressed to his throat. Their eyes lock, no hate, only understanding. "You wanted to be me," Dexter says, voice trembling with calm rage. "But I don't want to be me anymore." He hesitates for a heartbeat, then finishes it. Clean, controlled, final. Gemini's eyes go still, a faint smile frozen on his lips. Dexter stands over the body, breathing heavy, rainwater and blood mixing on the floor. The silence that follows isn't peace. It's weight, the kind that never leaves. He wraps the body, methodical as ever, but slower this time, as if burying a piece of himself. Outside, dawn breaks. The first light touches his face, and for a moment he looks human again. The voiceover returns, soft and haunting. Maybe the world doesn't need a savior. Maybe it just needs someone to clean up the mess. He drives away, the skyline fading behind him, the road stretching endlessly forward. No destination. No redemption. Just the hum of the engine and the quiet whisper of his dark passenger. Content. For now. As the screen fades to black, a single line appears. Dexter, resurrection, the end of one monster, and the birth of another.